Breaking news just before I came and started this program is that the UAW has upped the ante in a major way against Ford. So we'll see where that's all going to work out over the next weeks. So Tesla underperformed the market today. That was almost certainly due to a new statement from Morgan Stanley. There was good 4680 news, but that may have been too nuanced to have an impact immediately. Might see that impact tomorrow, the next day. Bond yields continued down during the day and in the pre-market. Oil also down on the day and in the pre-market. And we've got the CPI tomorrow, so you won't want to miss the morning show. After the bell at just about 7:10 is when I will break my version of that news. And I do try in that hour that I have to work on it to see if I can dig into those CPI numbers and make sure that we understand them thoroughly, because how often does the market go crazy up on the headline or go crazy down on the headline? And an hour later, hour and a half later, it starts to reverse itself. So I don't know how many of you are day traders or how many of you just like to watch and see what's going on, but that happens over and over because people don't dig into those numbers. This is Randy Kirk. If you like Wednesday night, where we take a quick look at where things are midweek, then you want to hit like. Even if you don't like the show today, just hit like because it helps the algorithm, help the show, And then we got Brian Wang tomorrow, and he's going to discuss that whole 4680 thing. We've gone deeply into the numbers, and it's extremely bullish. You're going to want to see that show. And then with any luck, I'll finally get to my essay on the impact of boomer wealth that almost nobody's talking about, but I found this one article that was talking about it. I've been talking about it for, I don't know, years, but certainly on this show, I've been talking about it for months. And this guy, I think, gets it. I'll be going over his article and we'll talk about what the potential impact, huge impact of boomer wealth, not just with the transition of that money coming up in the next few years, but also the immediate impact on that boomer wealth. And of course, you want to join Patreon, my Patreon. Yeah, that's the one you want to join. So there'll be information down below on how you can do that. And we'll talk at the end about the free goodie that you can get, or a combination of this goodie or that goodie, depending on what you like. Anyway, let's start off with the Kobayashi letter again. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation. I should probably ask him how to pronounce his name. Kobeissi letter. That's at Kobayashi letter on X. If you're not following this guy, you probably should. Some of his stuff is not great, but some of the stuff is actually right on. So I try to bring you the ones that I think are good. So he says, here's the summary of today's Fed minutes. Number one, all officials agreed that rates should stay restrictive. That's not a good thing, but that's the higher for longer idea, okay? Number two, he says, Fed sees downside risks to economic activity as a result of that policy. They get it. They know that there's a downside risk. Number three, the Fed sees upside risks to unemployment. They know that they might create more unemployment, which would be sad when you don't need to do it. And I've repeated that. You don't need to kill the economy and you don't need to put people out of work. It's over. Inflation is done. Anyway, Fed generally views these risks as two-sided. And then five, the balance sheet reduction could continue for some time. So I see this as the biggest problem. I think that they're going to overstep. I don't care if they raise the interest rates another 25 basis points. I really don't. I've talked about that over and over again. It is not going to change the equation. What can change the equation is drying up the cash. The banks are already cash strapped, especially the regional banks. They don't have a lot of lending power. We talked about this morning in my show this morning about how the reality is that small businesses, and I think big businesses alike, have plenty of cash and don't need to borrow. That's not good news for banks either. But we'll get bank earnings on Friday, the beginning of those bank earnings. It'll be really interesting to see what their balance sheets look like, what their equity looks like, how much money they've lost in reserves as a result of people switching to money market. All that's going to be super, super interesting. All right. So the final thing is, number six, inflation remains unacceptably high. No, it doesn't, and it's going toward deflation. That's Costco's statement. Costco says already price cuts everywhere going towards deflation. And Costco has travel. They've got automobile tires. They've got diamonds. They've got food. They've got, they can see the broad stretch of what's happening in all these categories, including travel, which is a service. I think he would have the real pulse on what's going out there, as well as, of course, true inflation, which we've talked about, is at 2.5 and holding. Final comment: the Fed is committed to higher for longer, but is proceeding cautiously. All right, everybody's saying that the Fed was a little more dovish this week on all of their reporting. We'll see what happens tomorrow with the CPI. All right, the war status, no real change. For you, in case you're not doing it, I have been listening for hours and hours a day to various groups of people that have been giving impact on the war. The war so far has had almost no impact on the stock market or on Tesla, but you want to be sure if it's going to have, you want to be able to get that first. All right. I told you this morning that I would take a deeper look at the PPI report today. I did not find anything when I went deeper, other than the fact that overall, it was not great in terms of inflation. But I did read a couple of more reports. I think the government numbers that are coming in are the worst I've ever seen. And I've been following government reports for 50 years. I mean, ever since I've been in business, I look at the CPI. I've been following government reports for a long time. The changes that they're making a month later, like they did again on the PPI today, the changes that they make over and over again, adjusting the previous month's information and even 2 months previous month's information, they're radical shifts, big changes. And that worries me that we're not getting good information, even though it's really old information already. By the time we get it, it's bad information, as proven by their own corrections later. All right. The big news today from Tesla was they got their next 10 million 4680 cells in just 4 months. At first, I thought that was bad news. And I even wrote a note here to talk to you about later, which was that just means 3,000 Model Ys per month worth coming out of Texas. But Brian Wang and the limiting factor here's what the limiting factor is. I'll give you this much today, so much more tomorrow when Brian and I get together. The limiting factor says, as per my analysis from the Q2 earnings call in the second, as he points to an image, it looks like they're increasing the 4680 line speed in Texas by about 21% per month. And my guess at 20 million cells by October was spot on. A 5 gigawatt run rate, or 4.5 million cells per month, is more than enough to ramp the Cybertruck. And we're very close to that 4.5 million cells per month. At this point, it looks like Tesla probably has an excess of cells for the Cybertruck ramp. Hopefully that means they can start ramping the Semi or start converting Model Y or Model 3 to the 4680, also on top of the CT. All right. Anyway, so there was that negative Morgan Stanley note after their bull bear lunch that they had with investors. They wondered aloud whether Tesla could grow earnings in 2024 at all. Really? Come on. That's just nonsense. They will grow Cybertruck. They will grow units of Model Y. They will grow energy. They will grow all of their other divisions. I mean, that's just horrible. It says the stock has lost its mojo. I'm sorry, that's me. Let me repeat that. Let me say it again. No, the stock, which had been way up in the morning, lost its mojo about the time this Morgan Stanley note came out. The group seemed to mirror the investing public, which doesn't study Tesla deeply. They did feel that the neutral stance could improve based on guidance next Wednesday. So the guidance is what they're going to be looking at, as am I. Interesting, they did not say that a beat would help. No, they're looking at the guidance. There was zero mention of Megapacks. Zero mention of Megapacks. That's just crazy. The group was not excited about the Cybertruck. This is a key to understanding that this group is doing a surface analysis. Got 2 million of these on order. What do they have to know? They also worried that Tesla was taking the wrong approach on FSD by only using vision. Yikes. They called the current lineup stale. The M3 Plus just came out, and the Model Y is only 3 years old, and that's stale. So I don't know. I think that this lunch was nonsense, and I think it will be forgotten about by tomorrow. All right. So, but that's what we're dealing with sometimes with these headline readers in the investment world who don't dive deeply into things. So Sawyer Merritt had a couple of things that I thought were useful here. He says that Car Buyer in the United Kingdom, that's a magazine, I don't know if it's online or the real thing or both. Anyway, the Car Buyer Car Buyer UK has named Tesla's Model Y the best company car for 2024. Quote, lower prices and therefore less tax. Tesla has taken the car market by storm with incredible efficiency, fantastic tech, and access to all-conquering supercharger network. No better company. Whoa. And here's another one from Sawyer. According to a poll from Ipsos and Yahoo Finance, 57% of respondents in the United States answered they're not likely to purchase an EV as their next car, with cost, driving range, and lack of charging stations among their top concerns. Well, what the headline should say is 31% of the people they polled are interested in buying an EV next time. And since we're now only at 7% in the United States, that means that right now, without any more convincing, we can see over 4 times the take rate in the US. That's what the headline should have been. The poll also found that car brand respondents would consider the brands they would consider the most if they were going to purchase an EV was Toyota. Headline readers among the regular public as well. They would buy their EV from Toyota, assuming Toyota had one. Tesla was second at 23%. That's fine. I like Tesla to stay. 23% would be great. Just keep right there. Honda at 20%, who doesn't also have an EV. GM at 15%, which almost has an EV, and Ford at 14%. Why aren't they listing any of the brands that are actually out there? And some of those brands are advertising. So how come come on, Gary Black, how come those other brands are not listed in this list when they're advertising? Okay. So let's check this next one out from environment from environmentamerica.org. They had a poll. Only 20% are aware of the recent price cuts of EVs. That's across the board. That's not just Tesla. Look, I'm all for advertising. Please don't misunderstand me. I think they should take an ad on Sunday night, Monday Night Football. I think it would be killer. You got to grab those Midwestern folks, get them on the ball here with regard to Model Y and Model 3, even before Cybertruck. I agree. When the Cybertruck comes out, there's going to be a halo effect like none other. All right. Green Mountain Power has proposed a plan to install battery energy storage systems in most of the 270,000 homes and businesses it serves. Let me read that again. I don't think you were paying attention. Green Mountain Power, they are a utility. They have a plan where they would install, I assume for free or maybe for $5 a month, or I don't know, to install battery energy storage systems in most of the 270,000 homes and businesses it serves. How good would that be for Tesla? And that's only 270,000 homes in Vermont, I think, or someplace. Where are they at? Anyway, Vermont. It's part of their plan to ensure affordable, reliable electric service moving forward. The utility says it will be cheaper than building a lot of new transmission lines and power plants, even saying it will end power outages for its customers in addition. Okay, this is the distributed utility idea that I started talking about way back in the Elon Musk mission almost a year ago. It came out in December of last year. And it isn't my idea. It's the basis of the entire Elon Musk idea is to regionalize solar, regionalize the batteries, then localize home solar, localize home batteries. Yeah, that's the way. It's going to be amazing if all of this comes to pass. And it looks like Vermont, this Green Mountain Power is way ahead of the ball here. They are figuring it out. They are skating to the puck. That's what I should have said. Okay. Earlier today, I did a video with Brian White where we took a tour of the factories around the world, but with special emphasis on Reno, because there's a lot going to happen at Reno. Nobody's paying any attention. You should, their card will be right here. You can go and check that out. Of course, I want you to like. Did you like what just happened there? If you didn't already hit the like button, now is a great time. Hit record and then hit the notify button, because tomorrow morning, you want to know at 7:10 tomorrow morning, California time, 7:10 tomorrow morning, California time, you're going to want to hear what happened with the CPI, and you're going to want to hear what I think about what happened. Well, maybe you are. At least you want to hear the numbers. And then maybe if you're smart or something, I don't know, maybe you'll want to hear what I have to say. Listen, hit notify because you want to hear all the programming. And then you want to hear that Brian Wang thing tomorrow where we talk about that 4680, what's going to come. It's going to blow your mind, okay? And then you're going to want to buy these. Have you bought yours yet? Have you joined Patreon yet? You can support the channel for $5 a month. $5 a month. One latte. One trip to, one 20-minute trip in your old gas guzzler, because some of you like me still have one. Paid $100 for a tank the other day. So you want to join Patreon for $5 a month. And with Patreon, I did 3 articles already today. All 3 of them were very, very, immediate news, breaking news, stuff that you would have wanted to know about. And I'm not going to put up a bunch of stuff. I'm going to put up only the stuff I really think is you want to hear about it now. You don't want to wait until tomorrow morning to hear it on my morning broadcast after the bell. All right. So for $5 a month, you get all that. For $5 a month, you'll get one book, one ebook, one audio book from Amazon, any one of the 4 books that we've talked about many times before. And then if you get to the $10 level, you can get 2 of those audio books out of the 4, or for free, 100% free, 2 audio books. It's like a $30 value, okay, joining at the $10 level. Now, I appreciate it if you would stay in for a few months so that eventually you're getting the benefit of Patreon and you've paid for the books. But if you don't, you don't. If you don't like it, if it's not worthwhile, if you don't think the channel's worthwhile and you don't think you want to promote me or be a producer on this show anymore, then quit. It's okay. Some people do. 3. Yeah. Anyway, no, more than 3, but not a lot. Okay. So, and then you can get this for free. You get one of these for free, not the books, and you get one of these if you join at the $10 level. And this, of course, is a phenomenal little Cybertruck. It is exactly the same. What do you call it? I forget what you call that now. Also, it just went out of my mind. It is the same thickness. We'll just call it thickness from now as the Cybertruck. It's made out of stainless steel, which is fun. It is a refrigerator magnet. And it is, of course, a bottle opener. Cool looking. And you can get it over here in the camo. Okay, if you prefer. And please let me know which one you want when you order it. Whether you order it on Patreon or whether you order it through PayPal, which you can do. $25 a piece. Quite a few people now ordering 10 at a time. Why would they want 10? Well, they've got the cabin, they've got their boat, they got their plane. They need one all 3. They need one in the RV, also in the Model Y for when you're going to the football game and you're going to do the picnic out there. So many places. You want to put it in a cooler. Did I say the cabin at your lake cabin? You want to put one there? No, I think these people, in fact, most of them were telling me that it is the greatest gift ever. People are just blown away by this cute little guy. And if you buy 10, of course, you can mix and match. But if you buy 10 or more, you get a special deal. It's around 10% off. Just hit me up, either DM me, get my email. My email's everywhere. Just go online. You can get my email. I have so far not worried about that. Maybe there'll be a day where I will be very worried about it, but so far I'm not. Okay, $25 a piece. PayPal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters, or one of them for free if you join Patreon at the $10 level. I think that's it. Nothing else to tell you right now. I told you that the bond market was continuing down, right? It is. That's what I expect. 4.25. That's the number I'm looking for. All right, that's enough. I'm done. See you in the morning at 7:10 California time.